Well, hello, hello, hello. Looks like everything is working. We'll start a little bit slightly early because we have some decisions to make today. Because this guy, as you can see, he's already painted, but he's not. He's not up to the. Like he's okay, right? Like you look at this little guy, and you see, like you play against like this little Dante, and you don't think twice about it. You go, oh yeah, it's a painted Dante, cool. But you also don't go, ooh, Dante, ooh. And well, since it's like the super supreme commander type guy, you kind of want people to go, ooh, okay. So I think we're gonna repaint it. Oops, I have a double audio here. Is my thing's open? I see. I see. Sorry about that. Okay. Yeah. So I think we're gonna repaint it fully because we could keep some like the gold is not super bad. It just lacked like depth. And then same thing like the power weapon is like the idea is there. It's just not the finished product is not there really. Same thing like the red is probably like weirdly enough the best part because it's got like the depth and everything on it. But I do think maybe I think we go into the I don't like the gun at all like the five color on the gun it doesn't do it for me. So I think we can change that part. So I think we're just gonna I think we're gonna restart. It's gonna make our life easier. Instead, we could use this, but I don't know if you guys have a thought. Do we keep like we could keep the gold and then just like work it more? That would be interesting. Or we can restart. And then the rest will repaint. Like the gold is kind of the only criteria. Maybe the base we can kind of keep as well and just again rework a little bit more. So if you guys are in here and you have thoughts on this, whether we upgrade what's going on or we restart, now would be a good time to tell me. Also, it allows me to see if the chat on the app thing works. Otherwise, I have to follow along on YouTube. So that's hard. It's not really hard. It requires some shenanigans. And I think we'll just restart it actually. And so we're going to do this in the smart way. Do we want the axe to have like overglow or not? I don't think we do. I don't think we need the overglow situation on this. So we'll start with the axe, kind of mask it a little bit, and then spray the rest of the mini. So let's get our airbrush going. Oh yeah. Huh. I seem to have a connection problem. I apologize. I don't know what that is about. There's no reason for it. The computer's plugged in the fucking wall. Sorry about that. Okay. I'll just close this one down and then hopefully the chat thing works. Maybe that's because it says no drop frame. It's the internet connection that seems to be the issue. That's weird. That's a weird one. Okay. Okay, yeah, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We're here, we're painting, we're gonna have fun. Okay, so yeah, let's do this little piece here, the axe. So we can keep this kind of color. It's a nice one. We'll go Temple Guard blue. Or maybe we go with even a darker blue. Let's go 3 color on it. This is a Dante we're talking about. So this is Calidor Sky. And we'll give it like looks pretty thick. All right. Calm down, compressor. Calm down. Oops, some paper. Yes, I do. Paper towelettes. Oh, and already not even we haven't even painted anything yet. We already have paint on the mat. Look at it. Look at us go. Okay, so oh yeah, that's the stuff right there. Okay. Yeah, we could do. We're gonna do the reactors here, but like preemptively. These will probably get overspray, so we'll have to like touch them up. But it's kind of a start. Alright, and no other glowy bits on this guy. That the lenses, of course, but the lenses, there's no point in doing them right now, right? Because I don't know what's going on. Like, there is like a whole lot of noise outside. I don't know what's going on. These people have jobs. Okay, so that's good. We don't need to keep. There's just like a drop left. So we don't need to keep it really. We can just empty this guy here. I could have gone with black too. We could have done this color, black and white as well. That also works. But I like the idea that's on there. So we're just gonna pimp up the turquoise. We're gonna kind of keep all the colors that were on there already. With the exception of, I think the red, we're gonna go for a more classic Blood Angel color. This one is like more like flesh tears type deal. I have nothing against flesh tears. I like them. They're just not, you know, they're not the main thing, right? Used to be you couldn't play like the flesh tear because there was a guy, right? Is there still a guy in the flesh tear like a what was it, Gabriel Set? Was that the flesh tear guy? I don't think he exists anymore, though. Okay. There we go. Fat Man's Kitchen. We might. I don't know what we could freehand. Or maybe we could do. There's not a lot of like real estate on this guy to freehand. Maybe on this shoulder plate we could do like a teardrop. There's not a lot to. This is not like it doesn't feel like one of those models that has like a lot of opportunity to do so. Also, I'm pretty sure now that I look, I'm pretty sure it's missing a piece. Like this hole there in the base, like there should be something there. What an odd thing to notice just now. Is we'll put a fucking like, tuft of grass when we're done. Excuse me, I had the flu yesterday, so I'm still not 100%. I might sneeze a couple of times. Try to get it out. Yeah. Well, do you mean with the airbrush, or do you mean like it? Because freehand airbrushing is almost all I do. I rarely mask anything. I don't. I don't really enjoy masking stuff. It takes too long. There's some effect that we can do with a mask, of course. But for the most part, with miniatures. But then with a brush, I try like. For most army stuff, I try to avoid it just because it's kind of long and it's inconsistent. So like if I can use decals, I'll use decals instead most of the time, just because when you do them right, decals are they look pretty good, and you can't really tell. But it's really more for consistency than cool stuff. But you know you can, and like I have a guy, like I have a bust that I've started, which is this little fella over there. Um, and maybe we do that guy on stream some other time or something. But the shoulder plate here, I want to do a number, and we're gonna have to freehand that one because there's no big size decal for this. So you know it happens. I tend to not do it too much just because it takes a lot of time, and it's also kind of inconsistent. So if you're doing armies like I am, well, I like consistency a lot. But like practicing freehand is a good way to like learn to paint because it practices brush control, which is like a the one thing that you can't really learn otherwise. Like brush control is at some point you get it, but otherwise it's a long journey. The fuck is wrong with this thing? I hate dropper bottles, but also I might need a new white. I got a CSM Knight I want to decorate. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, but Knights is a good example of where freehanding works, but also it's kind of it's a funny thing because it's also a really good place for well no the Knights the Chaos Knight decals are kind of hard to find. I think they don't put them in like a lot of boxes, if I recall correctly. But yeah, Knights is a good because it's also very big, so it makes it easier to kind of get it. And they have all these like they have like a big scroll on like their chest, I think. So you can do those as well. Oh, there we go. There we go. See, now we got paint. See, now we got this. I hate dropper bottles are the death of me. I hate them with a passion. With a passion. Okay, that should be thin enough. We don't want to. I want this to run. There we go. Okay. Um, and then we're gonna do the same thing here with the white. And so now we have this little effect here that's just interesting enough. But once we add like an edge highlight to this, is gonna crisp it up a whole lot. There we go. Okay, that's fine. Oh, and then of course the backpack. Boop boop. Man, the more I look at it, the more I kind of want to keep this. The gold, it really is not that bad. It's just lacking a little bit of a flair. I think we're gonna keep it, guys. I changed my mind. I think we're gonna keep the gold. We're just gonna give it some more oomph. And then I'm gonna need to take a small break. I need to blow my nose because apparently the cough medicine or whatever the flu medicine decided that it was not kicking in today, or it was. Yeah, I don't know if it's supposed to make you empty your insides from your nose, but that's what's gonna happen soonish. So give me a second and a half here. I'll be right back. Okay, that is done. Got some more paper towels. So I think, yeah, so I don't hate the gold enough that I want to redo it entirely. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to highlight this with our airbrush. We're going to take some silver and we're going to highlight it. And then we're going to shade this 9 ways to Sunday until we get like a very, very deep gold. So that is much more my speed. Where, well, there's no, like, we could try something new with the, we could try something new with the gold, like redo it basically in a different way. But I think this is like, it's not bad enough that it needs it. So we can keep pieces of the original. We're just really souping it up. Like the power weapon was maybe too much. Like it was not. There wasn't enough there that was interesting to kind of keep going. So we're just gonna restart it. But then the gold is kind of fine. It's just lacking a little bit of a flair. Just being very careful around the blue here. I want to add some highlights. Now, I don't know if you guys can tell. But we're like, this guy now looks almost platinum because there's no... Yeah, you can see like here, like on the butt plate, you can see the good. So that's like a big highlight right there. And then the halo, I think we do the halo in silver, not in gold. Okay. So now it looks kind of the opposite, whereas now it's way out there, but in the opposite sense, whereas now it's way too bright. Whereas before it was a little bit too flat, now it's differently wrong, right? But that's okay. We're in the right direction. That's what we wanted to do. And then maybe some more here, like in the foot. There we go. And I think we're gonna do the same thing for the base. Is really I don't hate how it was. It's just a couple of things that we can do better, so we will do better, right? So let's clean out the airbrush. I think we're good now. We could give this guy a coat of shading with the airbrush to begin with. That would not be the worst of all, but we can do it with a brush as well. Interested. There's a lot of like, that's the fun part of like redoing stuff, is there's a lot of options to, not lots of routes that we can take. I think we're gonna go with Guillemot Flesh contrast paint for the next step, and then we're gonna go with like a purple ink, like a purple shade from the Games Workshop range, probably the Drushi Violet. That's pretty much like my go-to way to do gold. The purple is like overkill, but again, this is a character. We don't want him to be just okay. We want him to go like to the next level, because that's what we want to do with like our characters, and you know, in any army basically. So if you're gonna feel Dante, you don't want to feel Dante like capital letters, right? Okay, so this airbrush is pretty clean. I don't know if we're gonna reuse it at some point, but it should be clean enough to for now. We could also go with Reikland. Reikland is a Reikland's an interesting shit. If you don't want to go the contrast route, because some people are against, like, I like the contrast on the metallics, but some people don't really want to fuck with it. I understand that because contrasts are potent stuff. So you could go with just like Reikland Flesh Shade or Seraphim Sepia here would work in different ways. Reikland has like this orange to it, which I enjoy because the previous gold, like the base coat of gold that was on there, already had like a lot of the orange. That's why I'm leaning towards this. Whereas if we picked a more like yellow or a more toned down gold, I think sepia would be way more interesting. Yeah, exactly. Fat Man's Kitchen is the centerpiece, right? So that's the guy, right? You want people to look at that dude, and not at like Trooper Steve that's right next to him. And so our contrast paint here, the Guilliman Flesh, we're gonna go for like one even coat on everything. We don't want to do the full like kind of shading treatment, or maybe we'll start with one even coat and we'll see what we get. Let's start the helmet. And at this point, we can do kind of everything and then figure it out. But I'm convinced that I don't want the halo to be gold, just because I think it's going to be a bigger break in the mini if we do it silver. If we do the halo silver. Okay, never mind. I take back what I said about the one even coat. I think we're gonna go heavy here. We're gonna let the contrast do its thing, because the armor has so much depth to it and like texture in it that it's gonna work out for us. Whereas if it was more of a regular Space Marine, this approach would probably not be as good. But now, oh yeah, okay, okay. Now we're cooking. Okay, this is where we're okay. See, if you had doubts up to this point, now they're gone. Being very messy. This guy being on a 50 is very challenging because I don't have the 20. I don't have the 50 mil like handle thingy. Usually when we stream, I use the handle thing, but I don't have the one that goes up to 50. I have the smaller ones. Could look to get like a different brand. The ones I have are the G Dubs, but I think there's a couple of others that do this as well. I mean, I know there are a couple. So I don't know the deal with the base sizes. If it's only the Games Workshop that's really limited between big or small, or if they're all like a little bit. Like sometimes that's just like a product design thing, whereas like no matter how you design it, you're always gonna end up into the same sort of issue. That might be a thing here with these handles, where the make or break point is between 25 and 50. There starts to be some issue. Yeah, I use peel balls is great. I used to do paint pots actually, which is kind of the same idea. But I should have done that. Yeah, no excuses. No excuses. I should have. I really just didn't think it through that this mini didn't fit on my handle until just now. So. But the main reason is not really for me. It's more for the stream. So like using like a super butt ugly like paintball or whatever, it works for like my daily life. But for the stream, I think it's a little bit less interesting. Which is why I like the handle only. Like I never use the handle like on my day to day painting. I really just when I stream because it's easier to I guess showcase. Oh yeah, look at look at the difference between the top part and the bottom part. It's like night and day. This is the real deal here. So on these longer plates, I'm being way more careful about the way that it dries because I don't want it to pull on the bumps basically. Because that's how you end up with like weird little shading. Like we want to let it do its thing, but not too much. Or some places it can do its thing, otherwise it has to do our thing. You see, like here, this is this. Here's an issue. Because it was starting to dry and pool in a raised area. We don't want that. You can be careful around the base situation because again, I probably want to keep the base like similar, much like the armor. The base is there's nothing really wrong with it. There's also nothing great with it, so we can use this and then just kind of amp it up a little bit. That's gonna be more fun. That's what I like about like secondhand stuff. You don't always need to like full repaint. The issue with this one would be if we had like an army, we would need to repaint just because we don't know how the previous gold was done, and so matching this gold with like our gold is like the real challenge, and it's maybe almost impossible. So if you have like an army, that's more of a problem. If you just like painting minis or you want good minis, well, you can do pretty much whatever you want here. Oh, like stuff that's like significantly different from the rest of the army. The problem with this one is like there's also gold flying dudes, so they should be very similar. Otherwise, it makes no sense. Whereas something like a Gilliman or a Magnus can be whatever it wants because it's so different than the rest of the army that it's never gonna really look entirely the same. Okay, and I think we just have the backpack now to go. Oh, backpack and one arm or one shoulder plate, I guess. Okay. I think this one went a little bit too light on, so we're gonna just give it a little bit more. And then the backpack, we're gonna start with like that deep recess behind the head because that's the place where I want like all the darkness. So I want to make sure it's like really crammed in there. Because if that part is too light, you're gonna notice it instantly. Whereas if it's too dark, nobody will care. Well, maybe you care, but I don't. So. Oh, I didn't know this. Oh, there's a huge mold. Oh no! Oh no! Boo! There's a huge mold line on the backpack. Oh no! What a shame! What a shame! And these little panels here, we did them gold, but we could do them a different color. So we'll assume that they're going to be gold for now, but we might change our mind later. And you see these big cylinders. I'm always starting my brushstroke at the very top, and then I'm kind of dragging the contrast paint towards the bottom part. That way, as it pulls, it's going to pull towards the bottom instead of the top. So it's just like a little trick there that you can do. Like there's almost always, sorry, more paint where you end your brushstroke than when you start your brushstroke. So you can kind of play with that like information a little bit. This is okay. Now we're okay. Yeah. Now we're starting to be there. And then the gun, we're not gonna do that. I don't like I don't care about the gold or bronze tip or whatever. And that's not. We're not gonna continue this tradition. So while this dries, what can we do here for just a quick tidbit? We can start on the silver, I guess. Silver is the next logical choice because it doesn't overlap too much with the gold. So yeah, let's get started with this. We'll use lead belcher, I guess. Yeah, lead belcher is a fine one. And then we're gonna go maybe a little bit too much on the silver, meaning we're gonna do more details than maybe the final result is going to be. Again, since we don't know, and we don't want to do like two passes. Like I don't want to do silver and then put silver away and then go, oh well, this should have been silver, and then come back. So we're gonna do more maybe than what is necessary. Everything we don't know, silver. So we just have to be careful. I want to leave the little like poles or something. I don't know what to call these things. Like the two little lines in the axe, I want to leave them in blue. I don't want them to be silver. Okay, I'm gonna need to take a little sneeze break. Give me a second. It's only the second stream that we do this on live on Facebook. Is like the second time. So I was like, ain't no way I'm canceling because of a little end of the flu here. But it does add to the challenge. That's like if you're watching this in replay, you can just like skip ahead every time, and, and then it's fine. It's like the handle, for example. I'm not sure I like the red, so it's probably not going to be red, but it's also probably not going to be silver. But since we're not too sure yet, we're just going to paint it silver, and then we can fix it later. If we change our mind later, it's fine. It's already silver, but it can be any other color. Because we could still keep this guy like in a very, very like simple paint scheme and just do all the colors, but like to a higher end. That also works like really well. Like it's not because it's like a character that you need to do like 17 different colors on this guy. You can do like 5 or 6 colors, but like if each of the 5 or 6 color is like shaded with 2 or 3 colors and highlighted with 2 or 3 colors, and then it becomes like a very high-end miniature. Even if it's a very simple palette. And it's much more motivating to do too because you actually don't need like you need less colors overall because we're like if my gold is like 4 colors, which it kind of is in this case. Like there's gold or silver, and then there's 2 shades. Well, if I don't have like 3 kinds of gold or like 2 kinds of gold and then a bronze, and then well, it's kind of easier overall to do. So we're gonna do the same thing as with the axe. So we're just gonna go full. Full send on the silver here. And then we can sort this out later. It's fine. So we're probably gonna need a second coat. Like the gold from the like the tip of the gun is still. It's not fully visible, but it's definitely it's still there. It should be dry. Oh yeah. Okay, we're starting to get something. I think the main thing is like once we do the middle section, then we're gonna start to see like a big. The biggest difference is gonna be when we do the middle section with like the eagle and then the top of the little robe thingamabob and the like the big ass belt buckle. I think that's where the magic is. Or most of the magic, let's put it that way. This one not doing that, but this little seal we can do in silver. And then maybe later on this one we write something like Bahal or something like that. That way, we do some freehand and we appease the chat, and also it adds something fun to the mini. So everybody wins, except me because I have to do freehand, which is hard, but that's okay. So like a lot of the colors, we kind of keep the idea that was already there, right? Which I'm much more in favor of this than the total repaint situation because we didn't need to repaint the whole thing. Some parts were still fun. Some parts were still a-okay. And then these two like balls were like already painted silver, so I think we're gonna keep the silver just because the gold's not like super opaque on the bottom part at least. So we're gonna keep those in silver. And well, these ones as well. We can touch up. And I think the middle section, I think maybe we just do it black. I mean, we can keep it like this because with the extra silver and the blue from the reactors, it's not too boring. Usually the back you have like a boring problem because it's all like it's legs and a backpack, and then if you do everything the same color, it's just like a big old boring affair. Yeah, I think we're just gonna do a little skull. Well, we might repaint. Actually, we'll repaint the skulls with black. I think black is like the mission. We'll do black now. Because the thing is, like, this guy's not. I understand why now. I get why the axe handle was red. It's because this guy does not offer like a lot of like good red opportunities, and that's like a challenge when you have like a blood angel guy that's like in a red army. Is well, you want to make these colors fit with each other. So I think let's keep doing. We'll do black, and we'll kind of we need to think about this red situation. Because there's a lot of lots of ways this could go down. So we'll just keep thinking about it while we do. Because again, there's no real reason that we can paint stuff black and then change our mind later and go, oh well, this red is fine. So what we want now though is to kind of commit to some of the silver areas. So some of this stuff we're gonna have to go. Yes, this stays silver. We're not touching it up. So what I'm gonna start with all the joints, like the cable on the axe, and then the joints in the armor, and we're gonna do all of those in black, because that's kind of the non-negotiable situation. Like a lot of the other black parts is kind of choices that we have to make. This one not really a choice. Like this is it's that color because it's the one that makes sense. I'm using a very big brush for that. I noticed just now that I'm using a very big brush for something like this. Maybe we switch it up a little bit. We'll use a smaller guy. We don't need to add to the challenge of the big brush. We'll use a small guy. That was the guy here. That's fine. I don't know if you guys can tell, this like knee pad is missing some gold shading. Like the top is like almost all silver. So we have to take like a little mental note to fix this later on. And by mental note, I mean I'm saying it in the chat so that the chat can remind me. Broccoli, it's that dude that Korn really wanted bad to sell for World. Yeah, hey, lots of people want the Dante, Korn. I think Slanesh was kind of a fan of this guy too, right? Blood Angels are like the second best world leaders, so I think it's fine. They're also red and gold. They share a lot. They have like a lot in common. No nails though. The nails is really what sets it for me. It's like, well, I can have guys with like nails in their brain. Why wouldn't I want, the guys with the nails in their brain? Yeah. See how I said we're gonna do all the vents because that's easy, and then immediately after I said it, I did two things that are not joints and vents. That's really, yeah. Welcome to Elfire Hobbies. This is how I paint stuff. I let the art take over. Such a fan of anything that's within licky bum distance. That ain't new. Okay, let's. Okay. Oh yeah, the black is Parabellum. Oh yes. Okay, so guys, I needed Parabellum is a friend of mine here, and I needed him to be here. I had a question. We'll take a little break from our black lining here and our dirty talk about the Slanesh thing. Do not go away fully with the dirty talk. It's gonna come back really soon. But I did have a question for my buddy Parabellum. Is like he knows all the military crap of all of the world. So I know nothing about this. So, but because he's here and I'm doing this, I had a question about gas masks, which I know he probably owns like 5 or something in his home. So let's say I do. So this is a bus that I'm working on, and so in the gas mask situation, like this piece here is like a big metal thingy, and you have to stop me or correct me. So the bottom piece here that like connects, this is like a metal canister, but these lines here, what like with the eyes, are these metal as well, or should those be like kind of fabric? Is that how were they done, like in real life? And then kind of, I guess, kind of the same questions. Is this here piece of like a natural helmet? Oh, so they're all metal, okay? And so is this here a natural piece of the helmet usually, or is this like part of the strap, or excuse me, or something else? And the rims, okay, perfect. Well, see, that kind of sells it. Because I'm kind of like getting started, but since this guy is like it's a bus, there's no army with it. I figured I should do things as they're like meant to be. Because also, like if a guy like this, like on a regular size, it's like you wouldn't even really notice these kind of details, or you can paint them whatever. Nobody really notices the thing. But since this guy is like much more lifelike in size, I thought, oh, yeah, I should do like try my best at like realism. So okay, so perfect. But I kind of had this guy, and I was like, if he doesn't show up for chat, I'll just have to send him a message and ask him. But usually he watches the stream, so thank you for being here. Let's resume our guy. Oh, you know what I haven't had, guys? Coffee. The helmet liners and strap are leather, but the buckles. Oh yeah, of course, yeah. I assume the straps would be metal because that's. I don't think the plastic thing was like much. Okay, but that's cool. Okay, thank you. Perfect. So now we know. Chastity bells and bomb diffusal jackals are really handy if you're gonna stand a kilometer away from. Yeah, you want both. Okay, so okay, so let's resume our main man here. So the thing, well, there's two things that I really don't like going forward. The first one is this little purity seal, and this little, like the seal is the only thing that's bone that technically should be bone, like a beige color or whatever. So that kind of pissed me off because there's nothing. Look at, so I think maybe we do the seal black, like we go for an artistic type thing and we paint the seal black. Otherwise, we have to do this, and then it kind of cuts our miniature in half with like bone colored whatever. And I think this would have been avoidable if we changed the gold completely to go for a much lighter gold. Because if we have a light gold, then the beige color doesn't like stand out so much. But because we went like super deep with the gold, we're kind of like boned in this scenario, just to keep the Slanesh talk slightly alive here. Um, Tell you what, I love gold, love Blangel, I like brass and minotaurs, but nice. Yeah, I mean, I love the minotaurs chapter is probably one of my favorites altogether. I think like a minotaur Space Marine army looks like baller, but they're more bronze than actual like brass color. But I mean, I guess the brass minotaurs is like another actual chapter, but Just the regular Minotaurs is like, because it's the same color essentially. It's like a gold, brown, bronzish gold, red and black. So like we're keeping the vibe, you know. And there's one thing I've learned about, Warhammer is that a lot of vibes are involved in this. So again, we're gonna keep doing our like what I call mandatory black stuff, like the things that we know for sure we want to paint black, and then we'll reassess. Would you guys be like super against the seal being black? Does that look like a cop out, or is that because it maybe it makes no sense as to why he would have like a black seal, but also it's gonna make a nice mini. Oh yeah, dude, the word bears have like white. Oh, that's so we could. Ooh, so it's not completely because they put them on the black. They have like black shoulder plates, I guess, or black whatever's, or even they have dark red everything. So white text that doesn't. Oh, so I think we'll paint it black for now, and then we can kind of because it's not a big difference between leaving it like this and repainting it in a second. Okay, but this is ballin'. Okay, we're kind of we're getting somewhere that I kind of like. Asterion Moloch has an awesome armor design. He has a personal via leather and lace chains, so just without the fun part. So I'm thinking this one here has to be red, and then this big one here has to be red. But I think that would be too much in red. So we'll do this one black for now, and then we'll figure it out. That's gonna be our idea. Maybe like I think in black it's gonna look out of place as well. So it's probably not the right. We'll see also if with just a base coat we'll see if this makes like any sense whatsoever. And we're not losing like that much time because it's like I don't know a 30-second process to just get one coat of black. It's not even gonna be full, like fully black. I think the black background kind of maybe helps in that endeavor. So yeah, it's not. This is not the right color. Okay, it's not. Okay, okay. Well, we tried. We saw. We tried. Okay, so maybe okay. We'll do some other. I'm glad we did figure it out like now because I think we could have made different color choices if we assumed that this would be black. And now that we've got like the certainty that it ain't. Does just mean we have to figure out something different with this. Oh yeah. What's the bet that Rogaldorn faked his own death and buggered off so he could cosplay as Gus from Berserk and terrorize demons? Isn't isn't Dorn in the? I didn't think he was dead. I thought no. Dorn's not a dead one though. because that scenario is much more Space Wolf looking. Like this is like a Lehman Russ type thing. I think we do these little abs section over there. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that was a good choice because now it stands out. Even that was a good one. Okay. And then this one has like 3D thing not going on. Boop boop. Oh, and you know what time it is, folks? Another sneeze break time. Give me a second. I'm sorry about that. Oh, you think he was just too good at his job that he couldn't be fired or do what he real like he couldn't pursue his passion of killing chaos. Like Dorn was so good at like siege that that's all they stuck him to, and then he got tired of it. That's where like the like Camba Diaz type of like vibe comes from. Is like it was there all along. Like the Crimson Fist guy or the Black Templar guy. Okay, I like where this miniature here is going. This is getting cool. So the blue was definitely a weird choice because the blue is going to be very limited in terms of what is blue on this mini. But from an army standpoint, having the something that's not like red or black or gold makes a whole lot of sense. So that's dope. And then I think all we have to do is the backpack pieces. There's like 4 of them in total. So one here. One here. One on top. Well, two on top actually. So two on top here. Oh, also good. I think we're gonna like I'm gonna acquire some more mini because like for the past couple of I've been selling one miniature on eBay every week for the past like I don't know how long, and really I put one mini on eBay and I sell one every week. So I think we can maybe scale up this operation. So I think these streams might become like a weekly thing instead of a bi-weekly thing. Oh, this is bi-weekly twice a week or once every 2 weeks? I thought it was once every 2 weeks, but somebody told me that bi-weekly meant twice a week. Like I go to the gym bi-weekly means you go twice. And if it's once every 2 week, is there a word for twice a week that's not twice a week? That's a fun. That's a fun Thursday topic for you. You want to start a fight at the water cooler at work? Just ask them that. See people get angry at you for no reason. Okay, so I'm kind of color blocking everything because there's so many like options that I don't know exactly where I want to go. If I ever do Blood Angel, I'm making them classic retro stuff. Oh, with the bright green. My buddy Marco, he has a full Tyranids army with the green bases, and it's the wackiest thing because they're all the new minis, and it fascinates me so much. Okay, so I was correct. So these streams are right now bi-weekly, and I'm looking to turn them into a weekly endeavor, and then twice a week if needed, and then whatever. Okay, I figured I was pretty sure that was the case, but then I realized that I didn't know if there was a word for twice a week. There's like a cable on the face. I'm really like on the bottom of the mask. There's like Logic says don't fuck with it. Thoroughness says painted black like every other goddamn cable. It makes absolutely no difference whatsoever. Okay. Okay. All right. So I think now we have avoided the red for long enough that now's the time to do the red. And so let's go for. We could keep the darker red. I think my main problem is that the more we stick to dark colors, well, the blue is really gonna pop. That's cool, but also the seal is becoming like harder and harder because the previous version was like this deep red, like almost burgundy. So that's huh. So we can get this bright red. Oh, this is another still a scratcher. We'll go Blood Angel red. It's fine. We'll just do like a classic Blood Angel. Well, maybe deeper than some. We'll keep our super small brush here. No. Okay. And then this one here. That's a baller. Okay. Little red bandana like a fucking ninja or like Rambo. They gave him a fucking Rambo headgear. This is amazing. Painted black with a top down of silver because well the black we're not done with the black. Of course, we're gonna highlight all of this. And what I think we'll take like a sea green or a very very dark blue to highlight the black. That way that will kind of tie in with the power weapon that's like also blue. Ooh, Horus leading the Legion of the Damned. I like that conspiracy theory a lot. Like that's a good like tinfoil type thing. But like I could very much see like a Ferris Menace Dreadnought is like that's a model that I would purchase like 100%. Excuse me, short sneeze break. Sorry about that, folks. Because like my thing with like Primark or like especially the Imperium Primark is like I'm really looking for like a different one. So like I'm kind of okay with all of them, but if they do like the Salamander guy, Vulcan or Rogaldorn in my mind are like the worst one because they're the same fuck. It's like a big dude in a big armor that's like a tactical whatever, and it's like the lion is the same as fucking Guilliman already. So that's kind of like that's a weird, like they're not like the same, but they're still the same. So I hope that they do like if they do a new one, I hope that they do a different version. Like that's why I like Lehman Russ coming back as like a fucking like half wolfen or whatever. Like he's transcended the humanity, or like the even like I'd be down with like Sanguinis coming back with like fucking like wings and whatnot. The lore is kind of iffy on that one. Same thing with like Korax because it's a guy with a big jump pack or something, or Jagger kind on a bike, or like it's something that's not like just a bigger space marine in an armor would please me a lot more than like this is Rogaldorn. He's a tactical genius, but this one does not have a sword, guys. This one has a hammer, so he's completely different. Like fuck me. Which by I think the Erzidorn also has a fucking chainsword, not even a hammer. So you know. But yeah, so like a Ferris Dreadnought, I would kind of like that. Like I'm okay with like a lot of these weird things. Like I like the lore progression. I know a lot of people are like against like lore progression. I don't mind it at all. I think the people that like care about like lore progression are people that kind of make up their own little stories. Whereas I don't do that, so I'm never like sad about it because I don't really care about Primaris or whatnot. He's also technically overpowered the possession of all four Chaos gods, just like Exorcist, and the Chaos God can't find him, similar to Exorcist being invisible to demons. Yeah. First Menace's head is made into a soulless AI core as oh, Chat GPT type thing. Ooh, that's also like a good one. Which also fits the black armor of the Legion of the Dam. Didn't drop it. Okay, so we could forego the entire this is a Blood Angel vibe. Because if instead of red we do all the drops with this turquoise, then we're getting something very interesting. So I think we're gonna come back. I said we shouldn't have done that, but I think we'll do this piece here in black, and we're gonna keep the seal black because I like this spread of color. And then the axe is kind of the really only wacky part where I think maybe we do the gun to glow a little bit at the end there, because the blue is really not even like I'm leaning towards the eyes in blue as well, but like we're missing something else in this color. Because it can't be the scroll cannot be this like glowy thingy because like the scroll is the thing with this like weird ass scroll is you want to not bring attention to it. That's why I kind of like black is because it's not really too out of place or anything. It's just there. Where if you draw attention to it, you're drawing attention to like a skull, like a random scroll on a mini, which is not like interesting or anything. Okay, first thing we're gonna fix the knee pad because the knee pad is getting on my nerve. Okay. Oops. Okay, so that is one fixed situation. Perfect. Next up, we are gonna bring our black again, and we'll do the pistol thing. I would also like Petrabo to look like a knight with an obliterator virus. Ooh. I mean, I think Perturabo is also a fun one because then you also get something that's not like just like a big, like regular monster. You could get like a Games Workshop would get a second try at Vashtor, right? Because like a big mechanical monster or something that would be interesting as well. But I think Forge World also might release the some demon versions earlier because they already did the Horus and the Fulgrim guy too in like resin. So like the Ascended version, I think they're called or something like that. Exalted. I painted both. I just don't remember the actual name for them, but okay. So I mean, this we're in business with this. It's missing. It's missing turquoise somewhere. Like this like because if you hide the base for just a quick second, like we're missing some turquoise situation, which I think the eyes is not gonna be enough to justify this because it's very small eyes. Man, maybe I'm overthinking it. Well, let's finish some stuff because now we got like everything kind of started, but no color is like on there 100, right? So let's I'll take another sneeze break. Apologies about that. I'll drink some coffee and then we'll get to finishing stuff and then we'll be on our way. Okay, let's give me 30 more seconds. Right. Let's get the coffee going. Got the old Hellfire cup. Bert Robble didn't ascend until much later. Oh, that's Huh, that's interesting. Oh, I see. That's a good. Yeah, yeah. Because Fulgrim and Oris were like during the Erisi that they morphed, whereas the other ones were all. Oh, I understand what you're. Okay, so let's finish some stuff. I think we start with the silver. Silver is probably the easiest one to finish right off the bat. Maybe even gold. Well, let's get our Druki Violet situation, and we'll just add some more shading into that gold of ours here. So we're not gonna repaint the entire affair with this. Like we're not slabbing on this wash. We're gonna use this more as like a black lining almost. Because purple and gold are best friends. So I just want to push like the places where there's like interesting details in his armor. So I'm really not doing like a whole lot with this purple, but I'm also not using black because the common sense I guess might be to use black for this because it's almost black lining. But by using purple, we're keeping a little bit more of like this natural vibe to it. Which I know sounds weird to say, like keeping a natural vibe on like a gold armored flying meta human, but you know, whatever. Um, whatever lies I tell myself, right? Oh, there's a little. I didn't notice this. Oh, so we can splice in some turquoise in the armor if we desire. I don't know if that will look weird or not. Probably would. Hmm. There we go. Okay, I like where this is heading. That's fine. That's fine. This hand as well. We can add like we can go kind of heavy under the feet because it's a shaded area, and maybe just like once on the butt plate over there, just to add this little definition. And this step here, this is really kind of extra. Like nobody needs to do this step, but I think since we're putting that much effort and we're keeping kind of the scheme like very minimalistic, I think now is where it's worth it to go the extra mile and do this kind of like slightly painful exercise of like lining out some purple in there. But it's definitely not something like if I had like a unit of sanguinary guard, I probably would not bother with this step on the unit itself. But maybe this guy and the Sanguinor, because they're like the main centerpieces. That's where this is where the extra time from keeping this scheme overall simple. I think that's where we get to have some fun and some extra little work. So I'm happy with this. So not a big change, but definitely a lot more contrast since the previous step. Next up, I also noticed there's a different little thingy here. there's a so there's two, so we can put two gems here in turquoise, which I like. I like the idea because then that will add in some turquoise in some odd places. And then I'm pretty sure I'm set with this thing being black. Like I don't see a better alternative to this. I think maybe it makes no sense in the like practical side of things, but it makes for a nicer mini. So if it was a redo, I would probably just do a lighter armor. That's that. The previous ones I painted. I painted one for an army of this new Dante mini, and the gold was much lighter and like more yellow, and so it fit way better with like having an actual scroll in there. Whereas this guy doesn't really work. Let's do red, I guess, next. Red's a fine color. So we'll highlight, then we'll shade, then we'll re-highlight. That will give us like a very punchy red, which I'm in favor of. So we'll do, maybe we even do 2 steps of shading because we're crazy people like that, and we have some more time. This is an hour and something. So we'll do like a rough highlight. We don't need to blend this in just yet. This can be pretty loosey-goosey. And this is Evil Sun's Scarlet. This one here as well. So, and like you can it's hard to tell even that there's an highlight, but there's one. I promise you there is an highlight on there. And we'll do the same thing on all the little drops here. We'll add. If I don't do the seal right now, I'll forget it. So we'll do it now. So now we can thin this guy down a little bit, just because the cloak is a lot more like a big smooth area here. So if we go too loosey goosey, it's gonna not work out too well. So we're gonna be a little more careful on the big one here, on this big area. Like so. A little bit on the front part as well. Even though this is like kind of a recess area, we still want some highlight here. And again, this is not final. The goal here is really just to get kind of a base highlight, because then we're gonna shade this a lot, and then this is gonna be like the lightest color that goes on there. But the way to get like a vibrant red is more with the shadows than with the highlights, because the more you highlight, the less red it is. Like it becomes either like pink or peach or something. Like you kind of lose the red vibe. So if you want to get like a deep red, it's with the shading that you do that, not with the highlights. And then we'll do the one on the the base as well. We don't need a whole lot on this one, just to make it somewhat similar in color. All right. So I think we're good on the red front for now. Maybe just a tad more on this, because we can. Because we can. All right. So that's neat. I like this. I like where this is heading. So that's cool. Now we can shade this. Yeah, let's finish this red. Let's go color by color and finish them all. What do we shade with? I think I'm leaning toward a grok search. A grok search is gonna tone this down a lot, and it's gonna add some earthy tones to it. We could also use a we could choose to go with some actual paint and just do the slow shade. Maybe that's what we do. We do one pass of this, one pass of a grox to get like into the recesses, and then we fine tune it with some thin down like Rhinox hide or some. So that would give us 2 highlights and 2 shades. The highlights being the same color, but that's fine. Yeah, let's do that. I think that's. We'll go one pass of this, and then if it's not to our liking, we'll adjust. But we have that option. It's like I never really like fully commit to like a strategy, so to speak. Whereas I have like a faint idea of what I want to do, but then after each step, I look at it and go, okay, is this still like the good option, right? A lot of people are like not like that when they paint, whereas they need like a very dedicated plan. I'm not one of those person. I don't work that well. I have a rough idea, and then I adjust as I go. And that's a good thing to know about yourself as well. Like, cause once I figured that part out, it helped me like a lot, because then I knew. And I kind of got better at like working with this, instead of like because I was trying to get like be the man with the plan, like to really plan out every step and everything, and it never worked. And I kind of noticed that because I was doing commissions, and I was like, so like let's say I was doing like this blood angel, so I would write down my little note like, okay, we're gonna do this, and I would start to paint, and then it would like not work, and then I would switch. Oh, I'm not doing that anymore, and then I had to like either the notebook was wrong at the end, which did happen on like I remember I painted some blood angels for one of my friends, and they the second batch that I did, they came out like they were like pink angels, because what I wrote down was wrong. Like I never did the first time I did them, it was not what I wrote down, because I noticed as soon as I did them that it was like wrong, and then I went to do them again like I don't know 6 months later or half a year later, and I was like, this is how it says on there, and I did them and I gave them to him, and they were like a lot more pink than red. I was like, oh man, this I followed the notebook, and yeah, so that was like that's a you live you learn type thing. Which it did, it did suck for him. I'd give him a good bargain on them, but it still still feels bad to have been the creator of some pink angels. Uh, so it's not too. I feared that it would go too heavy, but it looks kind of fine. So we're gonna be able to add some more contrast to this. So this needs to dry now, so we can focus on some different part of this miniature. So I think we'll do the black at this point in time. So I think Dark Reaper is where we're gonna go. Dark Reaper is a lot more. It's like bluish gray. I think that's gonna be a nice color. It also ties in a little bit with the turquoise that we got on there. Rather than using like a flat gray or even a green, which is a color that I tend to go to. And the reason I'm highlighting the black now is that if we go too heavy on our highlights and it doesn't look black anymore, we can just shade this at the same time that we shade our silver afterwards with like black. So this allows us to be a lot more, I say, careless with this highlight. Because if we don't put enough, we just have to do it again. And if we put too much, it's okay, because the next step in our mini is the same shade that we would use to highlight this, to shade this, so it's fine. And we are... Honestly, we're making good progress. This is not gonna be a super long repaint. Which, funny enough, when like redoing the gold would not have taken that much time, because we did end up airbrushing, and so it was a really more one or two color on the gold that we would have had to airbrush, which is like a deep base coat and then maybe a regular gold. Okay. I'm all over the place with this, so now we need to lock in a little bit, because I've done highlights like left, right, and center, but nothing. I'm all over the place, so we need to lock it in, boys. I'll just focus on the legs for a quick minute. I'm pushing through a sneeze right now. There's a sneeze pause coming up. The worst. We got this. Okay. I need to take a little break. 30-second break. Sorry, folks. Oops. Hit the wrong key. There we go. Okay, we're back. We are so back. Also, while I got like a couple of you over here, is there anything that we should do next time that we stream this? Do you have like a hero, or so? Don't say like a Reaver Titan or whatever. Be smart, like a hero type of character. Because really, it's probably going to be next time's probably going to be a Necron, especially if we do it next week. Necrons are really fast. I can paint like two in one lunchtime thing, because they're really quick to do. Because the Necrons are for my own like collection, whereas this miniature is probably going to end up on the eBay's, like right after this stream. So we can do Necrons is I think a fun one to do, like Because I think I have like 7 characters here that are undone. That I would just need to build. Maybe do a Custodes Dreadnought. That would be a fun thing. Another big gold mini like a Telemon. That's a fun thing. It's also not the most complex scheme. Again, I'm doing this one for my own collection, and mine are like speed painted. Whoa. The big 3-leg destroyer, dude. Oh yes. Oh, I got yes, both of the. I got an X-Mark destroyer and also got Caesarus. I think he's called the main guy. I don't know if he's 3-legged. He's a couple of legs for sure. Yeah, I think I have this one unbuilt in the box here somewhere. I'll have a look. But this could be our next project. It's a fun one. I like that idea. I'm pretty sure I have it because he's in a lot of lists. I think I bought it when I saw it recently. I think like the only thing I'm really missing in terms of like characters for the Necrons is I don't think I have Chronomancers because they've not been good this edition really. There's been like one in one list randomly, and the Void Dragon. I haven't bought the Void Dragon. Which might change because the store I go to play usually have they still have like one of those Christmas boxes, and it's got the Void Dragon in there and all the Triarchs, which are all the things I don't have, like the Praetorians, I think they're called. Oh yeah, the one absorbing a side. Yeah, exactly. He's like draining life from something. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one we're talking about. Okay, sorry about that. So now we could go even bigger with the highlight because this highlight is not like it's you can see it now, but once we have the shading, it's gonna be cleaner a little bit. But what we could do is add some more of this and then add some like bone to this color. That should be interesting. Oh, you got Mark. Yeah, Mark's was like really pretty too. I remember he put like a whole lot of. Well, Mark puts a lot of thumb on all of his minis. That's kind of his deal. But yeah, is really cool. Yeah, I got that one. I think we're gonna do that one. That's a fun one to do for sure. Okay, so I got. So now this is the same. I rarely do mixes, but this color does not really. I think it's called Thunderhawk. Thunderhawk blue would be the color that we're doing now, but I don't own Thunderhawk, so it's just whoa. It's this color. Okay, well that was unfortunate. As a drawback of gloves, like I wouldn't if I didn't see it, I would not have realized I was there because you don't like feel the wetness. And so really now this is much more like just hedge highlights. The previous one was a little bit more like general highlights. This one here very precise. So as much as we were really loose before with our highlighting, this is now is not the time to do that. We need to be a little bit more careful about what we do. Because like the extra shading does take care of a lot of it, but not like you cannot do anything and then get away with it without like having to start over. Like none of this is like final, so to speak, as in if we fuck up at this stage, we can just start over. It's not a big deal. But first of all, I'd prefer not to like start over a color. That's like Because at this stage in the game, like starting over a color means 3 color, right? Because like the black, for example, is black, and then 1 highlight, and then 2 highlight, and then a shade. So that's like if you fuck up now, you have to do 4 colors. Okay, and then this little cable. Thought I forgot, but I didn't. Oh yeah, okay. So now, again, now it's a little bit too much, right? Like in the chest here, the in the yeah the chest piece, you can see it's a little bit much, but that's okay. We're because I was planning on the wash this entire time. I kind of knew the wash was coming, so that's okay. Because if we do, if it's not like kind of perfect now, once we add the wash to get those recesses down, then it's gonna be too dark. So we need it a little bit too light now, so that the wash kind of brings it down to like the this level of like just right. So that's what we're aiming for. Which I guess we could do now. Yeah, we can do it now because we're also this shading is also gonna take care of the silver for us, so that's kind of perfect. And I'm looking for Black Templar. There it is. So this is contrast Black Templar, but mine is thinned down. Okay, so the pot is thinned down itself. It's not. It's not. We're not doing this straight out of the pot. It would be too much. So do as I say, not what I'm currently doing. Because if you do this at home, you're gonna get like a significantly different result, and then you're gonna be angry at me, and I don't want that. I don't want that for you or for me. So mine is pre-thinned down because that's how I use Black Templar. So I've got it like working the way I like it. And then we have to let it do its thing, because as it dries, it's going to be a little bit less potent. Right now, it looks maybe a little bit too heavy, but that's okay. As it dries, it's gonna work itself out. And then the reason I'm using a big brush is that I'm trying to do every like shading aspect in one brush stroke, or to limit the amount of brush stroke that we need with the contrast paint. Because as soon as it starts to dry, you're never gonna get like the same kind of effect. So you have to do all of it together before dry. So having a bigger brush here and being a little bit more careful is really a key to getting like a smooth result out of this. So now my little chest piece that was a little bit too highlighted just seconds ago now is looking kind of fine. And then the silver we are gonna re-highlight at the end there. If it's too if we think it's too dark, we can re-highlight our silver. It's gonna give us like a nice little effect. Because the silver at this stage in the game, the silver is really just silver and this shade, so it's got less work done than all of our other color. All of our other colors have at least like 2 or 3 coats in there, of the of varying like ratios, I guess, or various like techniques. Whereas our gold, our silver right now is a little bit simple. Oh, but I don't know if you guys are watching and enjoying this. Please take a second to subscribe to the channel. I think we're gonna hit 900 today, which is kind of cool. And then our 1,000 subscriber is probably like I'm gonna do either a live thing or probably a live thing. It's gonna be a Magnus because of the Thousand Suns stuff. So a big ass Magnus. Once I'm about to hit like 1,000 subscribers. That sounds like a fun thing to do for kind of a celebratory stream or something. And then I think only the butt needs a little bit of a. Okay now. Oh, and the gun, of course. We forgot the gun. So this one, a lot of people think this is like that null null is a lot weaker than it used to be. Like it ain't it's not have as young man's strength. They change it at some points like a little bit weaker. That's why I like this thin down contrast. It's because it gets a real dark shade to it. So I like it a lot. So I very much like this the way this mini is looking right now. I think we got like everything that we're looking for. But it's not over. We got some more fun stuff to do. Oops. Starting with a little. Give me 30 seconds, guys. Okay. Yeah, this is definitely an eBay type of mini. So the drawback of like going on eBay is that you can't go too like artistic with it. Like you have to if you stick with the more traditional colors, you get better sales. So that's kind of the it's not really an issue, just something to take into consideration, right? Because there's nothing wrong with like box art or anything. It's just if you feel like very creative or you want to try something or you do something that's really like out, like for example, like if we did the power weapon in pink, and it probably would sell less. Not that it's like not as pretty, because like you can do like pretty pink stuff, but just because it's less common, so the number of people that are looking for that specifically are rarer. But so far, with sticking to the basics has served me really well on eBay. So okay, so this is very little use what we're doing now. It's not okay. So this is. I want to add some more contrast to the little robe situation, but there's really not much going on here. Okay. So we're gonna go for let's just do a little dot for the eyes there. Oh, let's take a blue. Hold on. All over the place. Okay. So we'll take our deep blue and we'll do there's like two gems on the here that I want to do in turquoise. There we go. Well, they're blue now, but they're gonna be turquoise. And then there was another thing I thought. Look, oh yeah, we'll do. Oh yeah, it's behind the. I remember now. It's on the wrists. Or forearms, I guess. Not really wrists. There we go. And I think that's kind of enough for that. We're not gonna do the eyes with this blue. It's a little bit too dark. We might shade if we are so inclined. But now we'll take our lighter blue. And we'll start with the eyes, so make or break stitch. So basically what I want to do now is have all the eye painted in blue so I can add just like a dot of white in the actual eye, so that will give me some of that like this type of light looking effect. That's why I didn't want to go for the darker blue. Because worst come to shove, we take the darker blue and we do a little shade with it, like we thin it down, we apply just like a teensy drop on there at the end, and that will give us a little bit more definition. Like so. Like so. Okay. Next we'll add, we'll just mix white to this color here. We don't need to do... my army painter thingy is... So we'll do like almost well, like it just this. There's like some turquoise in there, but they barely any turquoise. Just so that it's not like straight white, but it's almost. just like me, guys. Almost straight white. So, yeah, it's very, very close. Is it? Is it? You don't know. You have to look very closely. Almost straight white. Okay. Sorry, I like that joke. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Like this, and then same thing on this side here. We just want to have a little highlight that like follows the curve of the axe there, and then we do the eyes and the other little gems to get like a dot in there. Like so. Like so. And then we can do the same type of highlight deal here, kind of on the inside of the reactor. There we go. So we get this little glowy situation. This is cool. Whoa. Chucking water everywhere. Well, that did not fix it. Well, we tried. 2 points for effort. Well, that was lackluster. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to do the same thing we just did for the red. The same thing we did for the blue on the red. So we're going to add our extra, like our last little highlight of this evil sun color. And maybe on the gems, maybe we add an extra one. We'll see how this looks, just to make the gems stand out even more. But I don't think we want that, but maybe we'll keep the option. We reserve the right to fix this later on if we so desire. So now we have this like very, very deep red, which I like. Because the bottom parts are almost black and the top parts are like a very vibrant red. Yeah, I think maybe on the gems we add just like a touch of orange or something. Maybe. See, that's the problem when you're being like all over the place, like I am. Some like looking like now we have to look for the fucking gems to make sure we did all of them because there was no rhyme or reason to the ones that we did. And then we're gonna do the blue thing that I said for the eye, just because the one eye that's like facing us, like the his right eye, I guess, is a little bit too much all over the place. So if we just thin down our darker blue, and we apply like very little of it, the key here works with like having very like it needs to be slightly thinned down, and also you have to have very little on your brush. And we could do the same. We could use this on the. Whoa! See, that's when you have too much on your brush. That's what happens. Is this? It floats everywhere. That's no good. Since we're using thin down paint, we're lucky we get to fix it like right away. But it could be trouble. Okay. And so now I guess the now all that we have really to take care of is the base, to make sure the base is something. Maybe we just add a bit of. Yeah, let's just add a little thing on the gun is a little bit lackluster. I don't want to do too much on the gun because I think the axe is a much more interesting thing. So we don't want the gun to really like completely stand out, but we do want it a little bit more. What's going on now there, man? Whatever. But we do want something a little bit more interesting for the gun. So I think what we'll do is we'll take our lead belcher and a little sponge, and we'll just add some little bow damage at the end there, at the very tip of the gun. And we keep the lead belcher because it's darker. If we did something like shining silver, which is our gold highlight, like a super bright silver, I think that would be maybe too much. And if you did want to bring more attention to the gun, then that would be a fine way to do it. But we don't. I just want a little bit of a contrast or something in the gun, which now I have because the tip is a little bit more shiny. And then we're gonna take our uh, Black Legion. Well, we could do Black Templar as well. First one was this one, Legion. They would both work for this. And then we're just gonna blackline the fuck out of the little holes in the gun, the muzzle thingy, exhausts. We're gonna cover the holes, the melta holes. Like so. So that they're really black. So I'm pretty happy with this. I think for the amount of time that we spent on it, and you know the money I paid for the mini, I think we're gonna get to charge like an okay price on eBay for this. And it's a fine looking thing. All that's needed now is to make the base a little bit better, because the base is also one thing that was really lackluster on this mini. So first of all, this gold situation not working out at all for me. So put this silver. Secondly, there's like a red dot of something over there, which I think is just, luckily, I think is just a fleck of paint that we can like scratch off with like an X-Acto knife. It just looks like a fleck of paint that was on there. Yeah. There we go. Okay, so I think the first step on this base is gonna be to give it like we're gonna give it like a good old. Oh yeah, for sure. Oh, for sure. Yeah, the base and the rim job is what what would finish this stream perfectly, right? So I think we're gonna start with like a null oil across the entire base, and that will bring some more details into this, because I'm pretty sure this is like texture paint, or maybe just like sand mixed in there. Oh yes, I was planning on putting it on eBay Max, but if you yeah, I'll give you a good deal for it. But you paint your stuff, so why would you buy mine? You can paint nice stuff. But yes, it's yeah, I won't put it. If you tell me you want it, I won't put it on eBay. For sure, I like stream people and like IRL friends over eBay people for sure. For sure, Yeah, so let's do null oil across this entire base. Again, this should bring out like a lot of the details, because this base is it's texture and dry brushes, so there's nothing we cannot replicate. So we don't have to be too dainty with it. Like the goal would be not to start over, because otherwise we would just start over now and do something different. But if needs be, we can. Like it's nothing we can't replicate easily, so we don't have to be too like afraid of what we're doing now. Because the issue that I have with the texture thing is that because it's so like the texture itself is like so small, and like it's like tiny little specks, you get like a very flat surface overall in terms of color with only the dry brush. So you need to kind of cheat something in there, which we could even like airbrush like an interesting color on. Like we could have gone a different route. I kind of want to do that now. Damn it. I mean, there's still time. There's still, because we could like airbrush like some red on this side and have the gun and this angle of the mini with some red. That would be kind of interesting. Like I don't think we do it on this in this specific instance, but that's something that we could definitely do on like, because this guy is like a very large base for a somewhat tiny dude, because he's so high on top that like yeah, you have like a lot of real estate around these parts, around the actual base. So it's cool if you're like really into building stuff, because you can build like an insanely cinematic base for this. But ours was like this guy here was already glued on there. It was already glued on there, and the base was already done. So there was no point in like if I was to redo it, and I would just buy a new one, not this secondhand guy that we could just pimp up. So we have to. This is one of the limitations that we have with the repaint, right? Of like, well, at some point it's stupid to start over. If you're gonna start over, why bother with an actual like painted one that you can just rescue? So I'm gonna take a little sneeze break, and also I'll find some tuff that would fit nicely on this, because I think we're gonna add some vegetation up in there. So give me 2 seconds. I'll be right back. Okay, so I wasn't sure what to do, so I just grabbed a handful of the Gamer's Grass packets that I have here, and then we can pick some together. Not sponsored by Gamer's Grass though, but if they want to throw stuff at me, I'm more than welcome. Love these products. So I think these are all the sets. So we have like all the colors up in there. So just open a bunch of them. These ones are very green. I don't think we like those. They're too green. Maybe this one is the least green and is the one I like the best, coincidentally. So maybe we do keep that one handsy. We'll keep that one. We'll put this on there. Maybe we like that one. So far that's our running favorite. Let's put it that way. This one we obviously already used some. This one's interesting. This one matches the gold kind of. Ooh, it's got that like brown undertone, which really fits with. This is interesting. Okay, this might be a winner, right there. Okay, so this one overtakes the green for sure. Okay, unless somebody objects in chat right now, I think the green is out of commish because this one's our running favorite. Also, we're doing this live, right? So you guys can contribute, and we're crowdsourcing this mini, right? Okay, and then this set here is the dry set, which leads me to believe that maybe it's gonna be our favorite. So this one, no. I was about to say this. I really like this one, but it's like pretty much the same fucking thing. So, at least I'm consistent in what I like, so that's a good sign. This one probably not as leaning into. Well, this one is very different than everything else, but it's got that grain to it. This one is. These two are really interesting, I think, because they're in a completely different direction. This one also has like the yellowish, like tip to them, but they go much darker. This one I kind of like. I think this one. I think it's between these two. I don't think there's like an obvious winner and an obvious loser. Besides me, it was too easy to make this joke. I don't think there's an obvious choice between the two. I think maybe. What do you guys think? Do you guys left or right, dark or light? I guess, or whatever issue you guys want. I think that they both work. So there's no. So these are we'll leave them like hanging over there. We'll finish because we have to finish the base anyway, so it doesn't matter right now that we don't need to make this in this instant. So we'll just leave these two like in our vicinity so we can see them, and then we have like we grow to love one of them, you know. So the bum part about doing the shade just like we did is we have to wait for it to dry because wet shade and dry brush are obviously not a good fit. Oh no, there's like a bunch of like grass situation going on. Yeah, okay. So do we need to do? I think we're gonna. You guys know I love to blackline, so I think we're gonna do that a little bit here. There's like a spot here on the shoulder plate with the little seal or scroll or whatever. Oh yeah, but I mean there's no wrong or right answer to this. It's not a real. Like this is one of those choices that's I think really does not matter too much. Whereas you pick one, you get a result. You pick the other one, you get another result. And neither of them is like completely. Like there's no right answer to this. Whereas through the mini, there were some colors that were like maybe would have been a bad idea, like straight up. That's where I'm less crowdsourcey with them. But for this stuff like the base, I don't think it matters too much. I'm leaning towards the lighter one for the simple fact that I think across an entire Blood Angels army, this one would look better. From like, if you think about like the somebody buying this for his own army, a lot of the army would not be golden dude; it would be red dudes, and I think this one matches really well with a red army, much more than this one, because this one has like, it's got like kind of a red undertone, but even it's like a more orange, and red and orange are not like not a super great combo, like in the history of time. So I'm leaning towards this one because this one feels a lot less orange for some reason. Um, so, and that's the only reasoning that I can see about this is if we're assuming somebody paints an army and it has these bases, this probably looks better with red marines, and that's the only the deciding factor, so to speak, is that. Well, this shades. I think, guys. I think we're gonna call it here, just because the I need the shade to be dry, and so like I think you guys get the idea. Maybe you know what? Maybe we just give it a quick rim job just to make the stream like kind of ending a little bit better. Just so you get like a better glimpse at the final thing. But we're the base. My goal is just to dry brush it a little bit more, and to add the tufts. But I don't want this stream to become a watch paint dry with me stream. So we're just gonna clear the rim at least to get like a better. And I'll finish this on my own time afterwards. It's not a big deal. But having just a clear black rim should change the mini just significantly. This would have been one instance where doing a gray rim would not have looked too out of place for the base itself, because it's a darker gray base. So having like a dark gray side on our base would be like interesting. But again, if it was like maybe for me, like if for my own collection, I would have been tempted. But since we're planning on selling this, black rim jobs is that's where the money is on the internet, is with the black rim jobs. What? So yeah. So this is our again the base. We're gonna pimp up a little bit. We're gonna add some more contrast to the gray, and then we're gonna add our little tufts here. So if you're watching this in replay, the mini is gonna be on the thumbnail, or you can probably find it on social media. I'll post this to like the gram at some point soon enough. Also, again, quick reminder: if you're watching this and you are not subscribed to the channel, please do so. It helps me a lot, and we are maybe we've hit 900 on stream today. I wasn't looking, but yeah, I'm pretty happy with this mini. It's not too. It's really dark and brooding. I like it a lot. It's got nice tones of blue. Pretty happy with this guy. Thanks for sticking with me. Maybe we stream next Thursday. Maybe we do another 2 week. It depends. I need to buy some more stuff. It also depends on like Canada Post going on strike, because that affects my eBay experience. So if Canada Post goes on strike, I'm not gonna hurry to paint minis. I don't think, because I don't have a hookup with like UPS or FedEx. I wouldn't. Maybe if I talk to like Fenris or Bastion, they have deals with them, and they can maybe. Well, not Bastion, because they sell mini. They have a painter now, so maybe they don't want to. Maybe they're not that friendly to the guy that also paints minis. But whatever. Yeah, we'll see. Probably next Thursday. I like these little Thursday situations. Oh yeah, cool. Send me a message. Yeah, I'll do like yours or whatever if you want to sell stuff to me. I'm down for this. Yeah. So thank you guys. I'll let you guys go on to your day. This was a pretty nice 2 hours 15 to get to this stage. Pretty happy with the time frame that it took us to do this, right? So yeah, thanks for the support today, guys. And yeah, let me know what's up. Catch you guys next time. Till then, no excuses. Hobby like champions.